Everybody, welcome. Your saltwater guide with his beautiful wife, Kelly. Girl, today we got a great show for you today, right, sweetheart?
We sure do.
Yep, it's going to be good. I'm glad you're all here to join us. Thank you for logging in. Thanks for watching. And first of all, baby girl, we got to thank fishingbooker.com. Without Fishing Booker being a part of our sponsors, we can't do this show on Thursdays. So everybody over at Fishing Booker, thank you very much for supporting your saltwater guide for as long as you have. We really appreciate your support. And gang, if you're anywhere on the planet Earth and you want to go fishing, all you got to do is log into fishingbooker.com, type in where you're at, and all of a sudden you're going to have a plethora of charter companies. And then you can go through it, find out what their rating is, find out what they're talking about, give the human being a call that runs that charter operation, and bam, you're in, you're going fishing. And you got Fishing Booker backing you up on that. It's a pretty good deal for everybody out there. And so many of our friends and family use Fishing Booker in their operations. Justin uses Fishing Booker, Al, Pablo, Donna, Kalis, and then all the San Diego landings, and most of the successful charter companies use fishingbooker.com. So don't be afraid to use Fishing Booker anytime you want to go fishing. Just type them in. Kelly, you look beautiful today, Matt Ryan says.
Well,
it's
you,
Game
Matt.
Plan Thursday. We got a storm brewing.
Woo!
They're going to have some rain this weekend they're talking about. But you know what's really weird, Kel?
What's that?
There's no wind. I was talking to my good buddy Marty, and I was talking to a couple other captains, and there's no wind. There's going to be rain, but there's no wind, no north wind. There's a lot of northeast wind, but there's no wind coming out of the west. We got a bunch of fires still burning, so the rain's going to be a very, very, very needed thing to happen to everybody in Southern California. And our hearts go out to everybody in Southern California that has lost anything. And a lot have lost everything, except they haven't lost their lives, but they lost all their prized possessions, everything that kids grew up, everything they saved. It's pretty tragic, right, babe?
I couldn't imagine. I just can't imagine what those folks are going through and what they have moving forward. You know, it's going to be a rough road, and yes, our hearts go out to them. And
yeah, it's pretty gnarly. And John Stanley, that's what I'm saying. I'm reading windy.com, and it shows the wind on land too, and it shows unbelievable 40 to 60 knots of wind offshore, which is hard to wrap my head around. That tomorrow there's a possibility that it's going to rain, and Saturday and Sunday it's going to rain, and it's going to drop down into the 40s when it's in the 80s right now. We're living in a very strange world right now. Nothing makes sense. 2 weeks ago down here in Cabo, we had 40-degree temperatures at night, which I don't think you can find too many people that will tell you.
Yeah.
They remember when it was 40 degrees, right?
It was cold here. It was cold.
And Ronnie B and I were driving, so you were down here trying to stay warm with the cats and the monkey.
I had the portable heater going. I put it in here in Marley's room, and then in our bedroom, just because, I was cold. But yeah, it's unusual. Weird times, strange times, for sure.
Snowing in Florida. We watched that news last night, snowing in New Orleans.
Yes. I don't know. I'm kind of scared.
I guess they call it global warming, but it's snowing, so they changed the name to climate change. Who knows, gang? I think it's just cycles. I think you look back, I think it snowed in the 60s in New Orleans, so it's just a cycle. Speaking of cycles, the sand bass thing's got me rattled.
It sure does. You are so consumed with the sand bass thing. And I know, I think that's good, because you seem to be the only one that is consumed by it, right? I mean, you're the only voice. I mean, I don't know. Anyway, yes.
I don't understand it, gang. You don't. Those of you that are in the industry, and well, I was talking with John Brett yesterday, it's so funny that everybody in the industry says they don't listen to me, but they can quote everything I say every day on my shows.
Yeah.
It's pretty amazing how they don't listen, but they're all a part. And then when I call them, they all want to be on the show. It's pretty amazing, right?
I think you have a lot of people that do listen to you.
But don't want to admit it. It's one of those guilty pleasures.
Yeah.
But gang, we've got a storm brewing in the sport fishing industry. And Tommy Gomes and I talked a little bit yesterday online. They've been going through this on the commercial side for a very long time. But then again, we've been going through it on the sport side a very long time. They are on a mission in the United States of America to stop fishing, period, end of story. That's all that they want to do. They do not want you going outside. They do not want you fishing. And this sand bass thing, I don't know why everybody's not talking. I don't know why every fishing radio show isn't talking about it. I don't know why every fishing podcast isn't talking. I don't know. I don't know what. I don't really know. I can't put my finger on why they're not talking about it. It should be the only topic on every show. It should be the only topic in every tackle shop. It should be the only topic on every sport boat. It should be the only topic in every sport fishing landing.
Why is it not?
I have no idea.
What are your thoughts on it?
Well, we had Bob Hoos on the show 2 days ago. Bob's pretty involved, and he didn't know that they're about to take away our sand bass. I don't know why is everyone scared? I don't understand. I made a huge post yesterday on my personal Facebook page. On my personal Dave Hansen Facebook page, I made a giant post and I showed every single thing that they're using for their baloney science. And I asked everybody to please share it. We've had over 10,000 people read the post. We've had 30 people share it. Do you guys just not care? Does everybody should I start having a podcast about maybe daisies or palm trees or monkey fur or something? Is fishing just not a concern of anybody anymore?
I think it is, but I don't know.
What do I got to do, gang? Do I have to come to your houses and push the share button? How can we get the word? And I saw a lot of people saying, well, I donated $10 to CCA. They should fix this for me. That's not how it's going to work, gang. If we didn't understand that through everything that's gone on and all the closures, that it's time for all of us to get involved. If you guys don't get it, then probably next year at this time, we'll be having a podcast about how to grow flowers or how to feed your monkey or something. We're not going to be able to talk about fishing anymore because they want to. When this sand bass closure goes through, and without all of us being involved, it is going to go through. It is going to go through. Those that are new, that are just started getting into fishing since 2015, you don't understand. This industry was not built on the back of 100-pound bluefin. That's not what got the sport boats off the dock. That's not what got the sport boats built. It was built off the back of the barred sand bass and the spawn that occurs during cold water cycles, which lo and behold, we're in right now. Mm-hmm. We're back in a cold water cycle, and lo and behold, the powers that be want to close fishing now. And they're doing it systematically. They took your rockfish away, but they made you all think that you were going to get something spectacular. So they said you can fish any depth, but you can only have 2 vermilion rockfish. Well, we're allowed to drop our lines down 800 feet and catch a cowcod, but we can't keep it. It's the craziest thing, but they're playing a game with all of you. And I've been trying to tell you all every day on my podcast, every single day, every single time I have a guest, every single with them, Kelly's on the show with me. We talk about how they're going to close more and more and more and more and more and more and more. And you all suck your thumb and go, well, someone's going to fix this for us. We, the people. It's in the Constitution of the United States of America. First words, we, the people. We are the people, gang. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We got to get it more involved. We need to be involved. On February 14th, they're going to have a hearing. They'll probably allow us, Devin, to speak for 1 whole minute. 1 whole minute. That's why we need every single one of you involved. We need everybody. We need you to share this. We don't get the link until 14 days before. So on January 30th, we'll get the link. That's when they'll allow us to have the link. And then we all have to get ready to speak for 1 whole minute. And like Wayne and I were talking, okay, so we only get to speak for 1 minute. But if there's 30,000 of us on that call, how wonderful would that be? That would show me that you guys actually care about fishing, because right now, I don't really believe that you do, because I posted on my personal page yesterday, over 10,000 people read it and 31 people shared it. That tells me you don't care. And I don't understand it, because God, I care so much. And my sister and I, we can't even sleep. We think about it every day. My father would be just going bananas right now. He'd be running around like his butt was on fire. He'd be so pissed off. They're going to take away our sand bass. He'd be yelling and screaming at the top of the mountains.
Oh, Cubby left a message at the White House.
Yeah, Kevin, Cubby,
Right,
Paul.
Cubby.
There you go, bud. Get a hold of Donald J. Trump. Let him know. This is crazy, gang. And like I was saying on my message yesterday on Facebook, on my personal page, the Dave Hansen page, once they take things away from us in California, they don't give it back ever. So if we're not going to get involved and we're not going to help slow down these closures, gang, it's just, I don't know. I guess I got to start learning about flowers or something.
Well, I don't know about that. I think a lot of people aren't doing anything now, but when it gets taken away, then a lot of folks are going to be really unhappy and complaining and But now's your opportunity to, try to make a difference, right?
I think so. I think, first of all, you all need to share the post from yesterday. And like I said in the beginning of the post, you're not helping. I shared it on my personal page just so you'll all understand. There's no financial value on my personal page to you sharing it. So if you think you're helping Dave Hansen by sharing it, that's why I didn't put it on my business page, my Your Saltwater Guide page, because I wanted to make sure that you guys that hate me don't think you're helping me by sharing it. I said, I don't care if you like me or not, but can you please help me to keep sand bass open so I can take my grandkids fishing? You don't like sand bass, you don't believe in sand bass, that's fine. Can you help me keep it open? Can you help me so I can take Zaya sand bass fishing? So I can take Riley sand bass fishing? I mean, you and I, we've taken a lot of people sand bass fishing in our time together.
You've taken me numerous times.
And they're fun, right?
They're a lot of fun.
We like the way they taste.
Yes.
They taste like fish, and we like to eat fish.
Yes.
And there's bazillions of them if you know how to fish. Like Bill Varney and I talked about on Wednesday. There's a lot of people that don't think there are any because they don't know how to fish. And if you made them 1,000 pounds, they have to be 1,000 pounds in order to keep them. You still wouldn't catch them because you still don't know how to fish. So it's not about lack of fish, gang. If you don't understand what's going on, you got to look around. It's about making sure that we understand that they have all the power and we're just the lowly people that pay them on a daily basis with our tax money and our fishing licenses, which Matt Ryan brought up a perfect point a couple of days ago. Price of fishing licenses in the state of California went up again as they take more away.
But this doesn't make sense.
None of this makes sense to me. Kevin, Cubby, Paul, Dave Burris, Matt Ryan, Brent, John Stanley. It's absolutely amazing to me that you guys all know, y'all grew up fishing sand bass as we were children. That was kind of the driving force. Devin Cruz, that's what helped you buy your house and your cars and do everything that you did. Those things are the things that absolutely shaped our lives, was the sand bass migration into Southern California. And we haven't seen it And it's only because, like Todd said the other day on the show, it's because we've been in a warm water cycle. Now we're into a cold water cycle. We have anchovies at the bait barges again. We got a really good opportunity this year to catch sand bass, but we're not going to be able to. And if you read what I put out there, everything's coming from the Fish and Wildlife. They want to close it on June 1st until April 31st. I went real quick into my old logbooks and I looked and I was like, the sand bass and the barracuda started biting back in the day around Father's Day. And we caught them up until about Labor Day or Memorial Day weekend, right when they say that they're going to open it again. It's just the most extreme, unbelievable thing that you've ever seen in your life. It has nothing to do with the fish. It has.
So there's no science backing this.
Well, no, if you look at, I put the graphs up on the post, and the graphs show that all they're using to get any of this is the fish counts coming off the sport fishing boats. That's what they're using as science.
Wow.
So if you look at that, and you guys know that go fishing, we've been using sardines for bait for the last 15 years. It's really hard for a 14-inch sand bass to choke down a 7-inch sardine for bait. So you can't use that. Plus, we're in a warm water cycle the last 15 years. So you can't use the fish counts from the sport boats. Now, if you look, the last couple of months, we've had anchovies in the bait. You've seen the sand bass count start to climb up because they're able to catch them with the anchovies.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to get you guys to understand what's going on. Too many people don't understand the cyclical part of the ocean. They don't have time to wait. They don't remember history at all. And the guys that grew up with me, I understand why. We kind of took care of that in our brains when we were kids. We did stupid stuff that made us not remember. But I got so many people telling me, Dave, you need to talk about this every day on your show. And then I went down the rabbit hole with Todd Mansur and my sister and Wayne. We started looking at historically water and water temperatures and the bait. There's no lack of anchovies. There's no lack of sardines, gang. There are no lack of bait fish. But that's the next thing coming down. When they get our sand bass, it'll be like when they got the MLP. Remember when we went to all those MLP meetings? Kelly and I went to the MLP meetings and we all bought into the whole process that they were going to allow us to speak, remember?
Yeah.
And we stood in that long line for that. And back then we got to speak for 2 whole minutes. And then we all agreed on map number 3. And I was there and we agreed on map number 3. And then the day they did it, they threw this map that we'd never seen before called map number 4. And that's what they ran the closures by. That's what they got planned for this. And if you go and you look at my post and you look at all the different pages, there's a page there that talks about calico bass, spotted bay bass, and sand bass. So gang, I just want you to understand they're using the word sand bass. I think they're going to grab them all at the same time again, like they did in 2013 when they took away our calico bass, sand bass, and spotted bay bass on the exact same day when they took it from 12 inches to 14 inches and the possession from 10 to 5, which was absolutely Looney Tunes. And then on this stuff that they're writing, they're saying they haven't seen a significant increase in the number since 2013. Well, that tells you right there that there's no science. And no one's gone in and looked in the areas of the MLP zones and looked and made an accurate count of all the fish that are living in there. Because you know why? Because they don't have any money to pay for science because they're too busy stealing it to build their big giant houses and take away the water to put out forest fires and all the cool stuff that they're doing, which is really fun for them, but it really sucks for us.
Yeah. It's unfortunate.
And to think that we're so close right now to being in a place where we're not going to get to fish. Gang, we are less than 6 months away from fishing being abolished in California. If you don't think that's what's on the agenda on what they're going to talk about on the 12th of February, you're highly mistaken. I want you to see this video. This is going to bring it all home. It's all about taking kids fishing, fishingbooker.com. Look at this video. I'm going to talk about it while it's playing. No matter where you are, fishingbooker.com can find you a boat to fish on, but there's nothing like fishing with your kids. Nothing like going fishing with your son or your daughter, being out on a boat that can actually find you fish and get memories and take pictures like that and just fish with your kids. There's nothing like it. Let fishingbooker.com find the right fishing boat for you. Go to fishingbooker.com, wherever you are on the planet, and they'll find you a boat to go fishing on. And gang, if you think about what Fishing Booker just said and what we just talked about there, that's what's about to go away. You saw the expression on the young man's face when his father took him fishing. That's going to go away, gang. You're not going to be able to take, like I say all the time, my grandkids, taking little Zaya and little Gavin out fishing. I took Gavin fishing last year. Remember, I flew up and I took him. We caught 100 sand bass till the little guy's arm was almost falling off. And that's in a world where there are no sand bass. When the sand bass spawn up here in Southern California this year, and there's zillions of them, I don't want to start crying. It just really makes me want to cry when I watch that video with the young man with his dad. And then I think about all the great memories I had growing up fishing with my dad and doing all the things that we got to do. And then taking Riley when he was little, fishing on the skiff with us.
Yeah,
and
we
Zach
I mean,
and
just
Sean.
you and I have a lot of memories of, I know I do, I learned everything from you. And I, caught my first everything with you, it seems like. So, yeah, it'd be tragic.
It's tragic. And like Wayne said when he was on the show, and Mike Lum said, and we're at the point now where I have to beg. I have to beg you all to get involved. I have to beg you to share the posts that I make. I have to beg. I don't understand it. Why do I have to beg people to help me keep fishing open? It just doesn't make any sense to me. And it's just a tragic time to be alive where they're going to take away fishing. I
think maybe people are thinking, oh, that's not going to happen. That's not really going to happen. It's, but it's, you can see it, right? I mean, it could happen. And so action is needed.
Well, the vermilion rockfish is a perfect example. They took it from 15 to 2 in less than 15 years. From 15 to 2. And there's a zillion of them. Cubby and I can take you, Kelly, tomorrow morning on the boat on his skiff in Oceanside or in our skiff in Dana Point. And we can go catch as many vermilion rockfish as you want in 200 feet of water. There's a zillion of them. There's little juveniles on every rock now because the population has exploded so much with this 2 fish take. There's literally a gazillion of them. And to think they were able to shove that down our throat. And now there's stuff being talked about right now where they should take the vermilion down to 1. Which is with no science. Sorry, everybody, with hitting the microphone. But none of this stuff's done with any science. And I had pushback last night on the post that I made. People going, well, I don't even like sand bass. They taste like gravel. I don't care if you don't like them or not, gang. Just because you don't like them doesn't mean that I shouldn't be able to catch them. Just because you don't know how to fish doesn't mean I shouldn't be able to fish. It's just the craziest thing. And my wife was asking me, what are we going to talk about today? And I said, well, you being on the show, you bring a whole different light to the show because they see me every day. But when you're on here, makes people pay a little bit more attention. And I was like, we need to talk more about this sand bass thing.
Okay.
Because like my sister said, when they take away the sand bass, Dana or sport fishing will simply be a whale watching landing. They're making it so the sport fishing landings up and down the coast are running out of anything to fish for. So what I would like to tell everybody is please don't let other people be the people that are going to stand there. Everybody that's listening right now, we have a lot of people watching live. We have a lot of people sharing this. Everybody needs to share this every single day. When you wake up, go to the Facebook page and share it with all your friends again. And ask your friends to share it with their friends. Even if your friends don't like to fish, this should scare the living bejesus out of all of you, like I told you before. This has to do with your rights as citizens of the United States of America. Like I go right back to the Constitution. We the people. What happened? Why do we the people not have a voice in any of the processes anymore? Is pretty much blows my mind. Like you and I talked to Michael Folks when we watched the history of sport fishing. We learned about our forefathers.
Yep.
They wrote the Constitution hiding in that fishing club.
Yeah.
It's if they could see what's going on in the United States of America right now, it would blow their minds, gang. And I know we're supposed to have fun on the podcast and talk about fun stuff. But I don't want to be talking to you guys next year about how to grow daisies.
Well, let's hope not. I hope we don't.
I don't want
We don't want you to do that.
because then I'm going to have to, instead of Bill Varney joining me on Wednesdays, we're going to have to get a guy that's into horticulture to be on the show on Wednesdays. And then our special guest will be the guy that grew the best sunflower on Friday and the guy that grew the best artichoke.
And I don't think I could be a guest on your show then because I do not have a green thumb at all. So
I don't know. You've done a great job raising these palm trees in Marley's room. They're looking phenomenal.
They look so
they're nice and green.
vibrant, aren't they? They're
always the same height.
Yeah.
You do a great job trimming them down and everything. And Brent, I don't think we need to go down and take pictures of the fish. I mean, that we already know there's a million of them. We know that Bill Varney's collecting thousands of pictures of sand bass because he asked you all to send him the pictures so he can send them to the powers that be. If you do jump over the side, Brent, I don't think you need to come down here. I think there's a zillion of them up there in Monterey Bay. I think that you'll find them as you swim down the coast, anywhere you jump in the water, because that warm water pushed them up there. And I think you're going to see lots of sand bass around your local waters. And we got gazillions of them. Rick Maurer, he dives all the time. He takes pictures of them. We see them. I just think we all need to be on that call on the 12th of February.
It's the 12th of February, not the 14th.
No, the 12th, not Valentine's Day.
I know. I thought I had.
If I said the 14th, I was
okay.
I'm
just
a potato head.
I want to make sure. The 12th of February.
If we all show up on that call, that'll be pretty spectacular. We can get 30 or 40,000 people. We can easily do it. We have plenty of time to unite and get ready. And my phone number is plastered on every wall in America. You guys, if you don't know my number, 949-374-0786. I'll help organize. Bill Varney's right here. He's posting. Justin Bottrell, Brett, everybody. We need to unite. It's time for us to quit sucking our thumbs, quit sticking your head in your butt, and get involved. It's time. Because what we've learned over the last 15 years is the process doesn't work. It's time to get really proactive and get really, really involved. To donate to CCA is a phenomenal thing to do. We need to donate to CCA all the time. But after that donation, that doesn't mean everything's fine. You donated $20. Now you can go back to doing whatever. That hasn't worked. If you've noticed, it hasn't worked. We haven't got anything. We got we get a little bit here, a little bit there. We get to see more about it. But I think what needs to happen is we all need to be involved.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. And know that you can make a difference. So don't think that,
And you know how much this matters to Kelly? Kelly went through her phone and found pictures of sand bass that she took
yes.
and sent them to Bill Varney. Kelly's in, gang.
I'm in.
Bill Varney, you got the pictures from
100%.
Kelly, girl. He's right here to tell you. She understands how passionate Donna, my sister, and I are, and Bill Varney and Wayne and Chris and Tony at CCA. And we're all super involved, but we all need all of us.
Mm-hmm.
We need to all be involved this time around. This will be the final. And I know I keep repeating myself. That's how passionate I am about it. It's a big deal.
Well, you are talking about this even when you're not doing a show. You're on the phone talking about it. So
every
yes.
single member of my website hears about it. Every time they call me to ask me anything about fishing or where they should go, I talk about this because I just can't believe that we're sitting here on this precipice of actually losing sand bass. My dad and I, we fought like crazy because we were kind of the same human. And so we fought a lot. And I remember him telling me when him and I were fighting with the MLP and Kelly was there and we were going to these meetings and he told me, don't worry, they'll never close Laguna as long as I'm alive. Mm-hmm. And they closed Laguna. And I used to, Dad, you're here. Laguna's closed. Gang, that's what's about to happen. Don't think that it's not about to happen and don't think you can just sit back and go, well, let's just all see if we can make a difference. What's the worst thing that could possibly happen if we all showed up on that Zoom call? Whatever. I know it's not a Zoom call, Wayne. I know you're watching. And Donna, but I'm just calling it a Zoom call for people like myself that don't understand. The link will be the link. I'll give it to everybody. We'll post it every single day. Elliot will make a QR code. We're gonna be so proactive over at Your Saltwater Guide. My 800,000 followers will know because this is all I'm going to talk about every single day until the 12th of February. So if you're tired of hearing about it, I don't know what to tell you, gang. But this is so important to the industry. It's so important. Like you can't even imagine how important it is. Half day and 3/4 day boats won't have anything left to fish for. Nobody wants to go on a 3/4 day boat and go out to out to the 14-mile bank or over to Catalina to catch 2 vermilion rockfish. It's not. And they're going to get the calicos and the spotties on the same time, which was just terrifying to me. I don't understand it. It just blows my mind what's going on here. And I know we voted and we changed the president, but we didn't change what's going on in the water. And it's for even it to catch up to Donald and for him to see it and all that stuff by February 12th, he's not going to know by then, even though Donald Jr. is now following Michael Folks in the history of sport fishing. And Michael and I talk about it every Tuesday. I just don't think they're going to be able to help. I think it's up to us. I think it's up to us, Kelly girl.
Yep.
I think it's up to us, you and me and Marley, just to keep telling everybody. And then we got great people. We got great people involved with us. We have a great audience. We have great members of the website. Mm-hmm. We have Bill Varney, Justin Bottrell, Captain Al Clowers, Sonny Hagison, and Pablo that are running this thing up the flagpole. We're good friends with Wayne and my sister and Jamie Diamond up in Santa Barbara. We're trying to rally the troops. Gang, if you go out on a sport boat, though, and you get there and you go, hey, you guys got nothing in the galley about this sand bass closure, make them aware. There's literally sport boat captains and sport boat crews that don't even know, which is, I don't understand. Your tackle shops, gang, your tackle shops
I would think there'd be some information that these tackle shops would have about this, but no, you're saying no.
No, just like last year, the Star Tournament. It was hard to get anybody to talk about it. And like I said yesterday on the show, when I was in Texas and in Florida, there was 30,000 people fishing in the Star Tournament. In Southern California, there was 1,200.
Wow.
Woohoo! And I'm like the only one waving the flag going, hey, we need to get into this tournament. It's like sport boats didn't have the rulers. Tackle shops didn't have the rulers. And it's like, gang, those of you that own a tackle shop or a sport boat, if you're not involved, what are you guys going to do? What are you going to do this summer?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you guys doing this summer? We got one room. You guys can live down here with us. No?
No.
So I don't know what you're going to do this summer, but at least try to be involved on February 12th. At least try to be involved.
So what's going to happen? What's like, how's this going to work? You're going to get a link 14 days prior to the meeting. And then what?
And then we're going to try to get everybody that we can possibly get to log on to the link. And then, as we know, the government will say, "Oh, the link went down and it all fell."
You know that we know that it's going to happen.
But we can't not get involved, babe.
Yeah.
I just can't sit on the sidelines and let the process be the process, because the process has shown me over the last 20 years of my life that the process doesn't work.
Yeah,
it doesn't, and it's up to us to be proactive. Like Wayne says, we have to be on the offensive now, because being on the defensive has not worked for us.
Yeah.
It's time to get involved. It's time for all of us to get involved. It's time for every single one of you to share my post on Facebook on Dave Hansen page. I know you guys don't like Facebook, or you're not on Facebook. All of you that I see the F, you guys are on Facebook. You guys should go to my Dave Hansen page. I'm not monetized on my page, so you're not helping me make money. You're not buying Kelly a new couch. We're trying to save fishing, period. That's why it's not on your saltwater guide, because there are people out there, I know it's hard to believe, that don't like me.
Are there? Really?
Yeah. And I think they'd rather see fishing closed than help Dave Hansen. It's pretty serious right now, gang.
So this is serious, though. This is serious. This is for real. This is really happening. And
the sport boat industry in Southern California was built on the back of the sand bass, period. You can't, anybody that's here that's my age or older, anybody that's younger than me, anybody in their 30s, 40s, 20s, you don't know. You don't know because you didn't grow up in the sand bass area. You didn't grow up. All the sport boats were built with sand bass money. All the houses that were bought by your old-time captains and your old-time deckhands were bought with sand bass money. The whole industry, they're the coolest fish in the world, because they would show up right in time for the summertime, right in time for when all the kids got out of school, right in time. And the sand bass is a phenomenal fish. First of all, it tastes great if you know how to cook it. If you don't know how to cook filet mignon, it tastes like crap. If you know how to cook a sand bass, it tastes great. They're not that intelligent, and they get really hungry when they're spawning, kind of like me.
Kind of like you.
So when they're very easy to catch. So it introduces children to our industry, which is near and dear to my heart. So the sand bass is a phenomenal fish because it's easy to catch. It's very accessible on the half day and the 3/4 day boats, or like Bill Varney says, it's very accessible in the surf. And Captain Al Clowers catches zillions of them in San Diego Bay. So it's a phenomenal bay fishery. All the kids that you see walking up and down the docks fishing with them, they got their little backpack and they're spinning. They're catching sand bass. That's our fish in Southern California. It's a great beginner's fish. It's a great all-around fish. There's a lot of tournaments that get won with sand bass. Jimmy Decker's a phenomenal sand bass fisherman. Benny Florentino's a great sand bass fisherman. Afrin at Warbaits. there's just the sand bass are a phenomenal fish. They always have been. They always will be. They're the heart of our industry, gang. And the fact that a higher power greater than me has brought this fish into our world right at the summer break, right when kids get out of school and they bite until the kids go back. It's an amazing fish. And I believe the higher power presented it that way a long, long time ago so that more and more people would get into fishing. Little Riley, your son, he didn't even know he liked fishing
right.
until he caught a bucket of sand bass. And then he was like, this is kind of cool.
Fun.
My boys love catching bass. They think it's the greatest thing in the world because they can bring their friends and they can always.
And everybody can
catch them.
Yeah.
It's a phenomenal fish. There's no shortage of them. There is no shortage of them. I will bet any of you listening that think you're a quote unquote expert, and I'll bring you on the show. I will bring you all on here and you can tell me how there's a shortage of this fish with no science. Like Brett said, stick your head under the water, go down to the bottom, any hard bottom, any rock pile up and down the Southern California coast that's in 100 feet of water or less. They're covered with sand bass. It's not the migratory fish. These are leftover fish that have been here every year back in the cold water cycles. All those fish would migrate up from Mexico. Mm-hmm. And then when it was time to go back to Mexico, some would go, wow, Southern California is pretty bitchin'. I'm going to hang out up here. And then they'll have their own little families, and their families all live at Clemente Reef or at the artificial reefs or the Horseshoe or Santa Monica Bay, and they end up hanging out. And then these powers that be that know nothing about nothing that are going to close this are like, I went out and I didn't catch 10.
Yeah.
So there must not be any. Well, that's first of all, because you don't know how to fish and you don't know where they live, because when you went out that one time on the half day boat 20 years ago, you caught them in the sand, in the mud, and you don't know. And so, yeah, that's why it's such a near and dear fish to me, babe. Mm-hmm. That's why. Yep. And Todd Mansur and I explained how you locate them. The migrating schools that come up here to spawn, it is not the easiest fish to find. And if you're only one guy out there looking around with your sonar on your sport boat, you could drive right by them if you're not in the right depth when you go down and down the coast or up the coast. So it's a fish that requires a tiny bit of skill to locate them. But once you find them, they're pretty dumb and they bite pretty good, and they're a great fish for the industry. Great fish to catch. But we're in dire position right now, because if you think, oh, well, they're just going to take the sand bass and then that's okay. I don't like sand bass. And then everything will be okay. No. Because right behind this, we've been fighting this for a few years. They want your bait. They want your live bait. They want the sardines and the anchovies. They want those. So that's why we have to be very careful when we talk about we're in an anchovy cycle now. Then people go, well, there's no sardine. No. There's plenty of sardines. It's just the sardine is a warm water fish. So they've moved off to the warm water or up the coast into the bays and stuff where we're not fishing for them, where the anchovies are. Everything's so complex and everything's so cyclical that if somebody doesn't have 5 minutes to wait, they're like, close it. We got to close it. And then right behind that, in this year, you guys thought the 30 by 30 thing was over with? No, we kicked the can down the road. All they said was they had too much on their plate and they were going to revisit it in 2025.
Here we are.
And so that's coming. So those of you that think, why do I care? I only like to fish in the Sierras, or I only like to fish for largemouth bass in the lake. Like I tried to explain to Captain Al Clowers the other day, they're coming for your lakes and streams. They're on a mission to close 30% of all lakes and streams in Southern California. 30%. You don't think that's got an impact on you guys? You don't think you're not going to get to take your kids trout fishing up in Mammoth, up in Convict Lake or Rush Creek any of the beautiful places that you like to go, they're going to get 30% of those. Right after they take away our sand bass, they're coming for you guys. So the 30 by 30 means 30% of the ocean. Well, they already got 16%, so they're only going to take 14 more percent of the ocean. But those of you in the lakes and streams, they've got none of yours yet. So they're coming for 30% of yours. Wow. So that's why this is so, I'm going to use a bad word, goddamn important for everybody to get involved, because you don't understand, gang. They do not want you fishing in the United States.
Explain why, tell everyone why they don't. What do you think is their reasoning? Why, like, what's their goal? What's the purpose of this?
Tommy Gomes, owner of Tunaville Market and Grocery in San Diego, my buddy, my pal, I make all those great videos with him. He says it's a land grab. They want all that land, that the sport fishing landings, that the commercial landings, that the commercial guys are using. They want all that land to develop and put houses and all that. I think there's even a thicker, deeper, ulterior motive. I think it's got a lot to do with the wokeness of the United States of America. And I think that they think that we're harming these animals, and how dare we harm these animals so we can have no harm come to animals. They would rather you eat cancer-causing plant-based foods instead of, there has never been a recall, like Cliff Gray and I said, never been a recall on our Justin, never been a recall on a wild deer meat, never been a recall on a calico bass meat, never been a recall on a sand bass, never been a recall on a barracuda or a bluefin or a deer or an antelope or an elk or any of the wild animals that we prefer to hunt and fish for. They want you to eat all this garbage food that they process, that they can control how you consume it, why you, where, and how. That is what's going on. I talk about it all the time, Kelly. It's about control. They hate me because I don't eat any medication. I eat natural foods, lobsters, scallops, fish. We eat a lot of good natural foods. That's why I feel so good most of the time. It's because we're eating stuff that's not getting recalled every day. You guys, if you think I'm talking out my butt, pay attention to what's going on, gang. They don't like Justin because he takes Ryland and he's going to be taking Madden soon. They go and they catch Bambi and they take Bambi home and eat Bambi, and they're healthy, and they don't like Cliff Gray because he's out there catching those elk with Joe Rogan and they're eating good elk. I mean, they hate Ted Nugent because
what about, the wildlife management that's needed?
Well, they don't care about that. All you got to do is look at the California sea lion.
Sea lion? Well, I was going to say, there's so too many of them, and they are eating all the fish.
China, China, Brett knows they take all our fish. All our seafood goes straight to China because we have our head so far up our butt, we won't buy our own seafood. It's just the craziest thing. The United States of America is the #1 consumer of seafood in the world. And we don't buy our own seafood. We don't. We just do not buy our own seafood. You think that's crazy? Really? Go to the store tomorrow and look. Go to the fish market. Don't go to the store. Go to the fish market. Go to Tommy Gomes's. Go to Tunaville Market and Grocery. Go to Shayla. Go to Dana Point. Go to John's Fish Market. And look at the shrimp, or look at the salmon, or look at the rockfish, or look at whatever they have to sell. And then go and compare the price at a big box store or a chain of grocery stores, and you'll see the price is dramatically different. The box stores, the chain grocery stores, they're getting their seafood from foreign caught seafood. It's not caught in America. And then your local fish markets, they have to charge more because we're the most overregulated industry in the world, the commercial fishermen. So in order for us to get that fish to you at our seafood market, it's very, very hard. But for China to flood with foreign caught shrimp and foreign caught crab and foreign caught tuna, it's super simple. And the stuff's probably not, if you saw it, when they're putting it in the packages, you would go, I would never eat that. Well, you're eating it every day, gang. But one thing I can promise you, if you get your crab from Luke McFadden, or if you get your fish from Reed the Fishmonger or Tommy Gomes, you're getting the highest quality product you could possibly have. You're getting the highest quality. If you ask Justin, well, he's not going to give you any, but if you ask Justin for some elk meat or some deer meat, you're getting the highest quality food you could possibly have. But as consumers in America, this is a piece of local caught rockfish. This is a piece of rockfish, well, probably not even rockfish, but it's at the big box store.
Yeah.
It's this big. This is local caught. This is store bought. This will cost you $25 a pound. This will cost you $8 a pound. This is garbage. This is high quality. You'll buy this though.
But this is probably going to make you sick.
And you'll buy this though, because who's going to pay $25 for a piece of meat when I can get it for $8 at the big, I don't want to get sued, but the big box store. That's what's going on, gang. And they don't want you to catch your own food. They don't want you to go out there and catch rockfish and catch calico bass and sand bass and take them home and eat it. It is what is going on, whether you want to believe it or not. See, Arnie said, look, Kelly Girl's on the show, made my day. Everybody listens a little more when you're here, babe. Everybody likes it a little more because you're like the calming for Dave. You're like, you bring him down. And like Devo says, you deserve a medal for hanging out with
I do.
me. That's what Shayla told her yesterday.
No, she didn't tell me that.
No, she said, hey, you need to try these drugs so you can get through another day with Dave.
No, she did not.
Gang, I just hope that everybody understands what we're trying to say to you. I love fishing. It's my passion. If I could pee a puddle, I would fish in it. I stare at the water all day when Kelly and I drive to Costco or Walmart or wherever we're going to get our seafood. No, I'm just kidding. Whenever we're going to the store down here, I'm always staring at the water. I'm always going, look, see that boat over there? There's some tuna there. Da, da, da. I love fishing, and I don't want to be on a planet where you can't fish. And I don't want to have to pay for my granddaughter to come to Cabo so she can go fishing with her grandpa when we have a fleet of boats in Dana Point where we should be able to fish. But we're about there, gang. We're real close. We're real close. So pay attention to what I'm saying every day, and we'll read my post over there on Facebook.
Read it and share it.
Even if you're not a member of Facebook, you may want to just go check it out just to see what the heck I'm talking about. But it's also available on the Fishing Games website. Let me see if I can put this up. The actual, we got it time. We got a few minutes. We got time. Oh, Kelly, Mike Lewis says, you look amazing today.
Oh, well, thank you.
Great to see you on a Thursday,
so nice.
Kelly girl.
I know it's been a while since I've been on.
And then Brian says, hey, question for you guys. Do you guys have new clothing, merchandise plans, ideas for the upcoming PCS show? We have over 100 SKUs on our website, Brian. So I think we have a lot on the website. We're going to be bringing some of those clothes to the show. There's not going to be a lot that we bring, but we're going to have some of the clothes. But all that stuff on the website's not even a year old. So to start bringing in new SKUs, we have over 100 SKUs, which is an amazing amount of merchandise. Amazing amount. Kelly girl and Erica.
She's the one.
She's like the magician over there. Elliot's wife. She went through and made a bunch of clothes for women.
She did. She made a bunch of.
She's got
a lot of
your saltwater guide underwear. Isn't that crazy?
That is pretty crazy.
Let me see.
But yeah, there's a ton of stuff. Some really cool items.
If you go to the Fishing Game Commission website, gang, I don't even know if you can see. Let me see if I can share that. Kelly, talk to everybody for 1 second.
I love when he puts me on the spot like this.
I'm going to try to share this right now on the page, but it's the Fishing Game Commission's website. And I'm going to try to share this real fast. Kelly girl.
Okay.
Okay. You're running the show,
Hi, Max.
babe.
Max says hello.
Hi, Max. Hi, everybody. Kelly girl's running the show.
I'm really not.
Why we're hanging out here. I don't wear underwear. Max knows that.
Oh my God. No.
Wasn't that the greatest though, Max, when you're standing on the deck filleting and I yell your name and you look up at me? Those were some of the greatest times as a captain. I'll tell
Poor
you
Max.
what. Yeah.
Didn't you throw a sculpin at him down his back? I don't
No,
know.
Max put the sculpin down my shirt, honey.
That's how it went.
Yes.
Okay.
Max put the sculpin down my shirt. Why we're talking here, I've almost got this downloaded, gang. You're going to get to see it for yourself here in just a second. And I want you all to go. Those of you, it was my bad to think. I want you to join Facebook so you can see this. I'm going to have it on our page here in 1 second. While we're talking, just hang in there, everybody. Just hang in there.
Hang in there.
We're almost there.
It's going to be worth it. Right, Dave?
I think so. I think it's going to be worth it. I know it's like dead time. Elliot's going, what the hell are they doing right now? Yeah, so buttons.
So Dave, tell us about tomorrow's show. What's going on for tomorrow?
Tomorrow's going to be phenomenal, gang. We got Dave Farron from Deckhand Sports joining the show. He's going to let you in on all the products, all the new products. He's going to talk a lot about the air coffin. He's a good friend of the show. He's a good friend of the family. We're talking trade shows, the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show that's coming up. He'll be talking about that. He'll be talking about all the new products he has. He'll be talking about all the love that he's felt from all of the members. There are so many members that have the Deckhand Sports kill bags, backpacks. When I fished with Jose down here the last few days, Jose's got them on. There it is. That's what you guys look at that. Elliot will be so proud of me. But there it is, gang. If you could see that on your little screen, that's where you want to go. And then when you guys go on there, you can click the highlights, and then all the pages that I posted will come up, and you can see how absolutely ridiculous this whole thing is. You guys can all go look yourselves after the show. What I would love is for people to get educated on what the hell's going on and pay attention to this Fish and Wildlife Commission's page. And this is where they post all the crap that they're going to do to us on a daily basis. I'm leaving that up for a couple seconds while I'm talking, but I don't think they understand that if we're not fishing, if we don't fish, we're not going to buy fishing license. They're not going to be able to, they're not going to be able to pay their employees.
Yeah. I don't think they're looking at the big picture.
I don't understand. But there it is. It's right there on the page. And if any of you want, you can send me a message, 949-374-0786, and I'll send you the link. But we don't have the link for the actual call yet. The call to action, which is going to be on the 12th of February. As soon as they make that available, Bill Varney, myself, Elliot, Justin, Pablo, Sonny, everybody's going to share it all over every social media platform that we have. We'll talk about it on the podcast every single day. Yeah. And then maybe we'll do a live on the 12th. We'll be live on the podcast with all of you sitting on your phones and on your computer, waiting for the opportunity to talk for the 1 minute. Yeah. And we'll do that live on the show, which would be pretty fun too. Just so you can see that what we're talking about is actual, real, honest to God passion in our hearts. We don't get any kickback from you guys being on the call. Mm-mm. But if I can't take my grandkids fishing, it's going to be so suck.
Yeah.
It is going to be so suck.
For a lot of people.
And there's one lady that is the person that's running this thing up the flagpole. Mm-hmm. And then there's this other lady, Donna gave me the name of, who's a land-based fisherman. Bill, you should know her. And she's saying you can't catch a sand bass anywhere. She's a superstar surf fisherman, even though I've never heard of her and you haven't. But she says there's no sand bass anywhere to be caught from land I think she needs to spend a day with you, Bill. I think you just need to grab a rope, tie it to her waist, and make her walk up and down the beach with you and see what it's like to hang out with you and see what it's like to catch hundreds of sand bass in a day. There's a lot of cool stuff going on as far as fishing goes. The Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Show is coming up. She's going to be there with me in the booth.
I will be there.
Bill Varney will be there. Justin, Pablo, Al, Sonny, and Michael Folks. We're going to make him like a throne. He's going to be hanging out. You won't be able to touch him or anything. You got to stay back. But
I'm not going then. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Yeah, but Michael will be there. We'll all be there. We'll all be celebrating the big difference we made in February on the 12th, all showing up. We'll all be laughing and talking about how 30,000 of us were there and we broke the internet, and it'll be wonderful. And we all can be together and we all unite and we can all share fun times and all the great things we did. And all of you. And real quick, Daniel, yesterday with Akuma, we were talking. Now we can start talking about the real quick reel seats. Mm-hmm. John's cool with it. He said it was flattering to have a company wanting to make products that enhance his equipment. So Real Quick's coming on board as a sponsor of the show. You'll all get to see all the great products from Real Quick real soon. We'll be showing you all that. Plus, he'll be at the Pacific Coast Sport Fishing Festival. We'll have one of his rods in our booth with the different reels on it. He's making all the reel seats for all the different variety of reels that Akuma has to offer, which is phenomenal. FishingBooker.com. We can't do the show without you. I thank you very much. And they understand. They're involved in this keeping fishing open. Like I showed you yesterday, Akuma, John, and everybody over at Akuma, they're super involved. They're very, very big sponsors of CCA and big sponsors of Your Saltwater Guide. Promar does a phenomenal amount to keep fishing open. Dave over at Deckhand Sports, like Todd Mansur said last Friday, Dave's given as much as he can possibly give to keep fishing open. He gives his time, he gives his product, he gives his money. We got some of the greatest sponsors in the world being a part of Your Saltwater Guide, and then the audience, you, all of you. None of this is possible without all of you. The hundreds and hundreds of thousands of views we get every day, that's all because of our followers, babe. And that video, gang, we got so many people calling us up asking us, how in the hell did you get a video to get 43 million views on Instagram? Other platforms we've had millions of views on. We had a video over on Facebook that bought my wife a beautiful truck, had 131 million views over there. But to get any type of views on Instagram, it's really hard because every company's on Instagram. So this is a big deal, and it's only because of all of you. Kelly and I, we could not watch the video 43 million times, even though we tried.
We tried.
We have it on there all day, and we just click. No, I'm just kidding. But that's a big deal. And I thank all my sponsors, those that understand social media. You guys, Fishing Booker reached out to us because they understand. Promar reached out to us. Akuma reached out to us. Deckhand Sports reached out to us. Daniel over at Real Quick reached out to us. People that understand social media understand the power of Your Saltwater Guide. We're consistent. You got to give us credit for that. Mm-hmm. What do I do all day? I edit videos.
You do work constantly, all day, every day.
And I talk to all of our followers. I talk to all of our members.
Always busy, always working, always just moving and making things happen. And I appreciate it.
And I appreciate all of you, gang. Thank you so much for watching our silly show every day.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
And as we move forward, gang, we need people to let us know if you have a friend or a guest or someone in the industry, we would love to have them on our podcast. We would like to have opposition. That would be fun to have opposition to come in and talk to us about why they believe we shouldn't fish or why they believe that no sea lion shall ever die or whatever. I'm going to be with April Volke on the 7th. Yeah, the 17th of February. We're doing a round table about the sea lions. We got some Native Americans. We got some Eskimos. We got some tree huggers. We got all kinds of people joining us on the show.
Are you allowed to call them Eskimos? I mean, no, that's
Native Americans.
No, not Native Americans. You said Eskimos. That's still appropriate?
I don't know.
Okay,
I'm an old man. Just
we'll
sue
figure
me.
that out before you have that.
Hey, John Noonan. Noonan. John Noonan's on here, Kelly. He's been a member of us for a very long time. Oh, yeah. And we need to talk about what's about to happen with this rain. I'm sorry, Kel, we're going a little bit over. Okay. The rain that's going to come tomorrow, the next day, and the next day, the runoff's going to be the most toxic runoff we've ever seen going into the ocean. Yeah. Now, none of these people that want to close fishing would ever want to talk about that. There's going to be more fish die this weekend than you and I and everybody that's watching and all 43 million people that watched the one video could ever catch in our whole life. Because when all that stuff that they're talking about, that toxicity in the air, when it rains, that's all washing into the water. That's all washing into Santa Monica Bay. If you take a aerial or if you go to Google Earth and look at Santa Monica Bay, it's a giant catch basin anyway. So all that toxicity is going to be swirling around in Santa Monica Bay. Just, I know, Bill Varney, we talked about it a little bit the other day. I don't want to throw that negative out there, but for God's sakes, gang, we've talked about urban runoff on this show a million times. They've never addressed that. The hundreds of billions of dollars that they've stolen from us, the $19 billion that Gavin Newsom lost last year that we don't even talk about. It's okay. He lost it. Whoops. I don't know where I put it. But that's okay.
Do the little dance though.
Oh, we're gonna try to figure out where we put the $19 million. We're gonna have some people coming in and they're gonna be looking at it. Yeah, unbelievable, gang. But we haven't addressed urban runoff in any way, shape, or form. And we're about to pour up hundreds of billions of gallons of toxicity into the ocean this weekend. And that's just a sprinkling of rain. We're going to have some rain. We always do. February and March, historically in Southern California, it rains. All that stuff's going to wash into the ocean. Oh, it was 24. Oh, the $24 billion I lost. It's okay. It's okay. I mean, we're going to bring in some speculators and we're going to try to figure out. Moving ahead. That's your leader, gang. Isn't that cool? That is so radical, dude. I just don't understand it. 24 billion. I just misplaced it. I'll be goofy this week at Disneyland. Crazy, gang. Crazy. It's crazy. If you haven't seen that, Joe Rogan has that video trending on his. He can't believe that he had the audacity to dance and laugh while the houses were all burning around him. But I do, because the guy lost $24 billion and it's okay. Nothing happened. It's all good. It's good. But here comes these rains, gang. The toxicity levels in the water are going to be astronomical. But me and Max and Dave Burris and Kelly are the problem because we want to catch a sand bass. All right, gang. That's it for today. We went over. We had the great Kelly girl on the show and we went over.
Thank you for having me on.
Can we see you next Thursday, maybe?
Of course, if you're good.
All right. Well, we'll see how I do this week.
Thanks, guys. Have a great Thursday and
be kind to each other. Turn off the news. They're all lying. This is the only place you get the truth. It might not be the truth you like, but it's still